guys, I am Crystal Sky, and we're gonna go back to Learn and Draw Weekly. How are you guys doing? I don't remember where I left off, honestly. And the door's not closed, and my dad's making cookies, so if you guys hear that, just let me know. And you know, it's one of those days. I'm recording early. Nobody's in bed yet. Recording earlier than I usually do. I gotta put something else on this page. Every time I look by it, I get really annoyed. Anyway, so I've been sticking with just using this side, and I seem to like the whole book better because I only use that one side, right? Universe stuff. God, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. I can't remember where I left off. I don't remember. I think you guys saw this and I described the story behind that. Some cats, some dogs, some animals. I think I told you she was a YouTuber. This is a comic about angels and stuff. My way of thinking. Some other stuff. I don't know. My way of thinking. Do you guys see this? I don't remember if you guys saw this. Some of this stuff in here. I'm sure you didn't see the zombie girl yet. She's really cute. Yeah, I remember you guys saw this page. Like an air flip. The shadow projection on this side. And then some Christmas scenes. And then I was trying to do like a girl with like different colored skin. And it turned into a cool zombie girl. I really like the way this came out. This is done with the mermaid markers that I got recently. And some like regular watercolors. And I mixed them together and this turned out really cool. I posted it on Twitter because I really like it. And then this turned out really cool too. Also done with the mermaid markers. The gradients and stuff on the trees. I'm a big fan. I got a fountain pen, but the ink is not waterproof, so I was playing around with that. Some cool pencil scenes. I got a new pencil for my birthday. So my birthday was December 9th, and I got a lot of stuff on my birthday. So I was playing around with a lot of that. This is my idea of what Indigo. So you guys have met Indigo before. She's a homeless child who has really pretty purple indigo hair. And I decided that I'd give her a power. I don't know why. She didn't really have like a fleshed out backstory, but I decided I'd give her a power, and that power is to exorcise haunted houses with her singing. So say she doesn't have anywhere to stay, and she's in the middle of nowhere, and she sees this house and it's all broken down, but it's haunted, and even homeless people don't even want to live there because it's so haunted. She just goes in singing, and then she cleanses the house and then gets to sleep in it for the night. That was my idea behind that, which I thought was cool. This is a book. I love this book a lot. It's called Japanese Tales. I actually have it. Hold on. As I go across the room. This has been a favorite book of mine since high school. It's called Japanese Tales. It's by, I don't know who it's by. It's a whole bunch of different stories. And they're all based on like Japanese folk tales and stuff. So the first two are the Great Oak and the Magic Melon. And I decided I wanted to try doing an illustration for each. So these were just the first thing that came to mind. They I don't remember who ordered it, but someone ordered the giant oak to be cut down. So I drew like the picture of a bottom of an oak with someone trying to cut it down. And then the Magic Melon is about an old man playing a trick, so I decided to draw that as well. I really like that book, and I decided to put them both in brown as like a theme. I'm thinking of doing more of those because I really like them. Maybe doing them actually in Photoshop, like a real illustration. This is a story about a sword. This was inspired by the the Chinese sword that it hasn't rusted. It's been like 300 years or something, and it's like fine. And the story is that this sword exists, and it was the base of the legend for the sword behind the Sword in the Stone, an unbreakable sword, and it's in a museum. And this boy Jay, which is on the next page, his character page is on the next page, he picks it up. He's friends with someone at the museum, and he picks it up to move it in her office, and it chooses him. And the sword, what the sword does is when you pick it up, it begins a trial. You have to fight and kill, or fight and win against 10 fabled warriors. And once that trial is over, the pack is released, and you can become the wielder of the legendary sword. So I thought that was a really cool idea. And then I made Jay. Hi Jay, he's super cute. He's just, he feels really green themed, so. This is just a girl that I drew with some watercolors. Really just messing around with water. I love watercolors. I love look at that gradation on that shirt. That's probably the only reason I don't want to work I want to work physically, is because I love watercolors. And I don't know in Photoshop if you can get the same result. It's just really pretty. This is a sketch, I don't know how easy it is to see, of a dragon tricking a knight. So she goes to slay him, and she opens her eyes, and he's wrapped around her. That was a cool idea. Christmas tree, I was trying to get, I want to do a little gift for Christmas of like a dancing Christmas tree, and that idea has been like flying around my head for a while. Some shading practice, a house, because I always gotta practice on houses. This is like a Christmas sad version of Naname. This is an idea actually for Naname's book, but with two different people. So Naname and Ryu are twins, so they're very interconnected, and I want to see if I can get a scene like that. So these are just sketches for that. Hatsune Miku, she turned out really, really, really super cute. And then some guys, because I can't draw guys, so I'm working on it. Cute girl with a bag. This is actually a school bag that I own, except it's bigger. The proportions on it were a little low. I gotta work on my proportions. These are channel banner stuff for my stream sketches. This is another story. You guys are gonna know all of my stories by the time Learning to Draw Weekly is over, but the way I create stories is I'll have a thought, and then I'll just think about it and think about it and think about it, and then it'll become like this really intricate story. So this story is about a coven of witches. And in my story, witches are men and women who use magic, so there's no weird things about that. But there was once one main coven, and the leader of that coven decided to seal. There were 4 branches of the family, and the main leader of that coven decided to seal all of the powers except one from each branch family. So the way I broke down the powers were, the core power would be future vision, and then the branches of the future vision would be dreams, astral projection, and then telekinetic power would be elemental control, and then flight, and then the core would probably be curses, and then bugs and spoken spells, and then healers would be herbalists, and spoken spells would be 2 branches of each. So there's a branch family, and then a branch family of a branch family, and they each have a branch of that specific power. And they all originally had all of these powers, and in order to police it better, they decided to break the families off into separate things based on their talents. So if one of the main branch families, their leader was the best at future vision, like they had all the powers but they were best at future vision, then that family from then on in the lineage only had future vision. You guys see where I'm going with this? It's a little hard to explain if not written on a piece of paper, because I was a writer. So for me, I just I had this idea and I went and it was there in like 2 minutes. And that's what I do. So there's a core family, which is the main part of the family, and then branches of that core family which serve the main family. And there's more for this story. There's more to the story. She's kind of like a base design for her, and she's part of the branch astral projector family. That's where I want to start the story. And at night, as soon as it gets dark, all the astral projectors can see each other fly out above the house, kind of like it just goes poof, and then all these astral projectionists are just above this house. And as you astral project, you actually change into whatever you view yourself as. So she's like this really frumpy, kind of like sweatshirt wearing girl. And she just looks really floaty and like fairy type in her house of protection, which I thought was adorable. And because of the power that is sealed, they all need a seal. So this is the seal design that I came up for. I kind of wanted to have it on their backs, like wings. Like it's, the wings are, their wings or their power is clipped. That sort of feeling. This is all just like, this came out of my brain and now I need to write it down. So there's like all these different points of like that I wrote down. And as a writer, the problem I have is I always want to explain things in words. I could write you a book right now about this topic. Right now, it would just spill out onto the pages. But because I want to do art, I have to physically draw what I'm seeing. So it takes me much longer, and sometimes some of the parts of the idea are lost. So when I'm drawing, I write it down on the side so that I know what it is. And then this ended here because it was so convoluted. But that's the main girl, and I wasn't happy with her character design, so I'll go back and revisit that, hopefully before the sketchbook ends. And then I had a story idea about a mysterious dancer, and she's all beat up, and I want to put here, I'm actually going to do a review of this mechanical pencil, and I'm going to do that in the review, so you guys can see how the pencil works. But I'm going to draw all these different like shadow poses over on the side here. So I haven't done that yet, but that'll be, this was a statue that I drew, and it was appropriate, so I covered it with ink on the bottom there. Another pose, I wanted to try doing like a twisted body pose. Some hair. Naname and Ryu, forehead touching, they're twins, they're adorable. Naname in watercolor this time. I love doing Naname with green eyes, so I think that's her official eye color is green, guys. Finally. And then the just another shaded ball to get me started this morning, which was just my morning exercise, and since it's early today, I haven't done anything else. So guys, I'm halfway through the sketchbook. Let me tell you my thoughts halfway through. I really like the binding, but I don't like working on this side of the pages. It just is really clunky. If I were to work on this side of the page, I'd like to like flip it over, and that's not possible with the binding. But I like the paper. Watercolor light washes seem to work quite well. This is a pretty heavy wash, and it did make the page wrinkly, but it didn't go through to the other side or anything. What I normally do is I just leave this empty page, so if I'm working with ink or something and it's still wet, I can go like this and it'll just flatten it out. And the pages work really well. I'm a fan of this sketchbook. It was only 10 bucks, so I mean, for how many pages? I think there's 110 in here. 110 sheets, yeah. So for how many pages? And it's an Artist Loft brand hardcover. So for how many pages it was and the pretty cover that inspires me, I like it. Now guys, this is a really long one. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Look forward to this week. I'm going to be getting that review out of that watercolor sketchbook. I had a really hard time finding the name of that sketchbook because apparently the branding has changed. So I finally got the name of that, and I'm going to have that out. It's recorded and done. I just need to put the name on it. I'm going to do a review right now of this Rotring 600 mechanical pencil. I've got HB lead. And then I also want to do a finish of this sketchbook. I'm thinking about doing a time lapse of it because there's not that many pages in it. But when I do markers, I do a whole bunch of layers, so I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I want to do like a whole time lapse of this for Christmas, like set to Christmas music. I don't know if Christmas music is copyrighted, but like just finishing up these sketches on these pages with Christmas music, that's an idea. I don't know if I'll get it done in time for Christmas. But Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I'll see you guys next week.